Ever since my Starseed articles blew up on Google last year, I've gotten so many emails from you guys asking how do I know for sure that I'm a Starseed and which Starseed type am I? And I remember this frustration a few years ago where I knew for sure that I was a light worker, but am I a Starseed? Because there are Earth angels, rainbow children, indigo children. How do I know that I'm specifically a Starseed? And if I am a Starseed, which Starseed? That is why I'm recording this webinar, to save you years of time browsing through the internet and different articles so that you can know by the end of this video which Starseed you are and if you are a Starseed in the first place. And make sure to watch until the end of the webinar, as I will also share with you the next steps to take when you know which Starseed type you are. I'm Julia, a royal Andromedan Starseed. And ever since I found out I was a Starseed, it's been my mission to help other Starseed wake up to their divinity and their mission. We'll start by briefly going over what a Starseed is, signs you are a Starseed, and my Starseed story. Then we'll deep dive into the Starseed types and the signs that you are that type. And then we go to how to know for sure which Starseed you are. And lastly, how to step into your Starseed mission, and we'll end with a FAQ. So get cozy, remove any other tabs you have, put your phone on airplane mode if you are using your laptop. Get cozy, get a cup of tea. I have my raspberry leaf tea here, amazing. And let's do this. So first of all, what is a Starseed? Starseeds are advanced souls living in human form on Earth, but their spirits originate from another planet, galaxy, or universe. A call for help was sent out into the universe to help Earth conquer the negative forces that long have been in control here and help humanity transition into the golden age, the fifth dimension. If you are a Starseed, it means that you said yes to this call for help. So you are literally a galactic volunteer, like an Avenger. How cool is that? However, most Starseeds are not even aware of their unique gifts and that they are not even human souls due to this veil of forgetfulness that we go through when we incarnate on a third-dimensional planet like Earth, forgetting that they are spiritual beings living a temporary human experience. Most Starseeds are old souls and have lived several lifetimes on Earth to prepare for the time of ascension that we are in right now. However, they will not know the grand mission until they have had their awakening. This awakening can be instant or gradual, but it always includes a dark night of the soul, where they temporarily go through a depressive and chaotic period in their life before they rise from the ashes and awaken. Most Starseeds on Earth are from the Pleiades, Sirius, Orion, Arcturian, and Andromeda. You might think that it's pretty unlikely that you are one. However, Starseeds are not rare. There are currently billions of Starseeds on Earth right now, and the fact that you're hearing this makes it even more likely that you are one. Now, before we dive deep into the different Starseed types, let's first go over some signs that you are actually a Starseed. Now, I would say that these are the 10 most clear signs that you are a Starseed, so let's first go through those. The first sign is that you are highly sensitive. You easily feel overwhelmed and drained when you are in a place with many people and with intense stimuli, like shopping malls, clubs, and networking events. You might also be sensitive to stimulants like coffee, alcohol, even dark chocolates. You're sensitive to scary and violent movies and video games and make a point up to avoid them. Sign number 2 is that you've always felt like you don't belong. You find it difficult to fit into groups of people, and you often felt lonely in school and at work. You probably had a few close friends that you vibed with and you could be yourself with, but you're not one of those people with hundreds of friendships. Many people are drawn to your light, but you are very picky with who you spend your time with. The next sign is that you find society hostile. You feel sad about how we are damaging the planet, the poverty, the debt-based economy, the greedy leaders, the fear-based media. You are intelligent, so Starseeds are usually smarter than the average human. However, this doesn't always translate into good grades in school. In fact, many Starseeds did not enjoy school and are not fans of Earth's school system. Next sign is that you are highly intuitive. So you make decisions based on your intuition, like what your heart tells you, rather than what your brain or logic says. The next sign is that you are a wise old soul. You always felt like you don't belong or you can't resonate with people your own age. And this made you stand out as a kid, and you might even have been bullied in school because of it. Sign number 7 is that you feel like you have a big mission on Earth. You feel this responsibility that you came into this lifetime to do a certain thing to help humanity in some way. The next sign is that you are spiritual AF. You believe in God and that we are all one, but you don't adhere to any specific religion. You love talking about the supernatural and paranormal, and you keep people close who you can have these types of conversations with. Sign number 9 is that you have gone through a spiritual awakening and a dark night of the soul, where you just realize that you are more than this body, you are more than your name and your thoughts and your identity, the house you live in, the car you drive. You realize, wow, I'm an immortal soul, and I'm here on Earth for some special reason. And the last huge sign that you're a starseed is that you feel homesick. And I'm not talking homesick to your home, like your physical home, but to the stars, that you can look up at the stars, the night sky, and just feel like a longing, like this is not your true home. And that's because it isn't. It's just temporary. Now, before we go into the starseed races, you might be curious how I found out that I was a starseed and my journey. So I wanted to share that before we dive in. I've always felt different, like I don't fit in. And ever since I was a little girl, I've been wise beyond my years. And because of this, I didn't enjoy playing with the other kids at school. I preferred being in my own little bubble. Many times I would pack my bags and leave home, although I was always back in time for dinner. And as an adult, this was replaced by an urge to travel and a quest to find my home. I never understood how people could be stuck in cubicles all day, and I craved freedom. One day it led me to Peru, where I did an ayahuasca ceremony and had an ego death. I realized that I'm more than this body and that we are multidimensional beings living a human experience. Just like many other people, I first came across the concept of starseeds on YouTube, and it resonated deeply. I wasn't sure I was a starseed though, since the most common sign of being a starseed I could find was paranormal experiences. I hadn't had any paranormal experiences in my life, not even in my dreams, and no psychic abilities were to be seen. One day I decided to have a starseed origin reading done on Etsy, and to my surprise I tested positive. It said I had lived on several planets, however my origin is Andromeda. I decided to do a starseed activation with a talented starseed and twin flame healer. Together with the Arcturians, she did an activation and read a channeled message to me from King and Queen Andromeda. They were telling me it was time for me to step out from the shadows and onto the stage, as I have so much to share with others, but that I have blocks and lots of doubts that I needed to clear up so I could step into my power. They told me that they would introduce themselves in my dream soon. And that same day, just before falling asleep, an extraterrestrial appeared in front of my eyes. I felt an electric current sweeping through my body and into my hands. It was so powerful that even my twin flame, who was in another country, felt it in his energy body too. I became obsessed with Starseed, and I binge-read books about the topics. I got activated in Bali at the top of a volcano, and since then I've written several blog posts about the different starseed types and helped starseeds awaken to their mission and who they are. Now I hope you have your tea ready, because now it's finally time to dive into the different starseed types. And we will talk about the 6 most common starseed types on Earth right now. I have the list here: Andromedan, Orion, Pleiadian, Arcturian, Lyran, and then lastly we'll talk about Lyran, signs that you are Lyran starseed. And yes, I decided to start with my own starseed type, Andromedans. Here are the signs that you are from Andromeda, and it's quite many, not as many as the Pleiadians, but there are around 800,000 Andromedan starseed on Earth right now. The biggest quality is that you crave freedom. You love it so much. you hate being like locked down, like this crisis right now is not ideal. You love traveling, you have dreams to travel around the world, and that's because in an Andromeda, you can very quickly move to one point to another. It's a very advanced civilization. And another reason why this crisis and this lockdowns have been very hard on Andromedan starseeds is because Andromedan starseeds are very skeptical of the governments, the elite, the secret societies in the world, and they can see right through the fear-based media and what's happening. And many Andromedan starseeds, they know about the reptilians ruling this earth, and one of the reptilians' biggest enemies are the Andromedans. So of course it's not fun as Andromedans knowing that they are controlled by the reptilians on Earth. That is why the lockdowns are happening. So yeah, skepticism about authorities and this craving for freedom is big signs that you are an Andromedan starseed. You might even have dreams of this van life culture that you might have seen on Instagram, driving a van around the world, and maybe living off-grid where you can't be controlled through your iPhone that I'm recording this video on. Like, it's tracking me at this moment. And so these are things that maybe other souls would never have thought about, but Andromedans are very aware of it and they want complete freedom. And another reason why you might want to live off-grid is because Andromedans love being close to nature and to water. There's a lot of water in Andromeda, and there are dolphins there, and that's why many Andromedans are they have an affinity to dolphins and ocean animals. Me personally, I could never live in a landlocked country. I love living near the beach. I'm just 30 minutes away. So if you are an Andromedan starseed, I highly recommend you get to the beach as often as you can. You get into nature every single day. Have houseplants around you. So important to thrive as an Andromedan on Earth. And then the huge sign is that you love learning. That is my biggest hobby. I know it doesn't sound like a hobby as such, but I have so many books and I constantly read through courses, and I just always want to grow and learn new things. And the reason for this is because Andromeda is one of the oldest galaxies out there. It's older than the Milky Way, so it's further ahead than the Pleiades and Earth. So Andromedans are very wise. You might be kind of the counselor in your friend group. People come over to you when they have relationship problems or they're feeling down, and you love helping them. You're a good listener. The last big sign that I will mention before moving on to the next starseed race is that you are not egoistic. My guides told me that like I have too little ego. That's why I had to get this tattoo, this crown tattoo, because to remind myself of my divinity, and that I have a big mission here and I actually have something to teach to people, because it can be so easy to forget. I feel often the most shy and introverted people are actually the most powerful starseeds. So it's important that we realize that we are here for an important mission and that we have something to share with the world. We don't have to have a PhD to do that, or being world famous. Like, you can just record videos on YouTube, put it out there, dare to speak your truth and share your knowledge with the world, because the earth needs it right now. The next starseed race is the Orion starseeds. Now, the Orion starseeds, their soul originates from the Orion constellation, and unfortunately there was a great war there between the light and the dark. So many Orion starseeds carry traumas in their souls from these times, and they might give off a more like darker vibe than, for example, a Pleiadian, who are more about rainbows and sunshine. But we'll get to the Pleiadians in a bit. The first sign that you are a Orion starseed is that you are a logical thinker. You think with your brain more than with your heart, like most starseeds do. They usually think with more their heart and their intuition. And this more inclination towards logic leads to that many Orion starseeds love science and scientific matters. Orion starseeds also tend to be very self-disciplined, which usually leads to material success in the 3D, in the earth plane. If I would bet money on a starseed like becoming rich, I would bet all my money on the Orions. And while many starseeds might be like avoiding getting rich and might have this association with money equals greed, Orion starseeds, they really crave richness and material wealth. And because Orion starseeds, they love order and logical thinking, they might become very strong-willed and they have strong opinions, which can cause frictions with other people. So they're more likely to get into arguments, get into fights with their loved ones and even strangers. But as they awaken, they realize that it's more about leading by example than trying to convince other people of your opinions. Just like Andromedan starseeds, you love knowledge, you love reading books. You might have a wide knowledge of different subjects, and if you went on How to Become a Millionaire, you'd probably do really well there. Sorry for my rats, they're being a bit loud. Next up is Pleiadian starseeds. This is one of my favorite starseed types. One of my best friends is a Pleiadian starseed, and it's such a beautiful energy to be around. Pleiadians are multidimensional beings existing in several dimensions up to 9D. They are from the Pleiades star system in the Taurus constellation. Pleiades is a soul healing station with visitors from other star nations for the purpose of studying, relaxation, and healing. Now, Pleiadian starseeds are very different from Orion starseeds in that they don't think with logic too much. They're all about their heart. Their heart chakra is their primary chakra, and it's very noticeable in everything they do. The job they chooses, for example, my friend, she works with different charity organizations. She worked for the UN, and in her free time, she works with charity as well. And this motherly energy makes Pleiadian starseeds great parents and caretakers. Sometimes it gets a little bit too far though, so they put other people's needs in front of their own, and they get burnt out, they get depressed, or they stick with a partner who's not good for them because they want to fix them. They believe that they can fix them, and they might even seek out partners specifically who need more help and who are more work, which can become unhealthy relationships. Pleiadian starseeds are also very honest. They would not lie to a dear friend of them. They're great healers. Just being around other people heals them, and that also makes them great for professions such as doctors and psychologists. They're highly sensitive, both their minds and bodies. So being around other people can be very draining. If you're in a fight, you might get an anxiety attack, and you might be more prone to illnesses because the body is so sensitive. But of course, everything can be healed with proper diet and exercise and love for yourself. And the tricky thing with this is that they might not be able to handle Western medicine very well because of its side effects. So it might be better to turn to more Eastern medicine with herbs, etc. But I'm not your doctor, just saying it's good to take a more holistic approach if you are a Pleiadian starseed especially. Because Pleiadian starseeds' primary chakra is their heart chakra, they're also highly intuitive, and they have that gut feeling that something is about to happen even before it has happened. When it comes to their energy, I've noticed they have more of a feminine energy, but not in this submissive way, more of a strong and empowering feminine energy. Because they're so kind and generous, they're highly likable and charming. It's the person everyone wants to become friends with. And the last sign that you are Pleiadian starseed is that you hate cruelty. You just want peace on earth, and you want to literally get your hands dirty to achieve that. You don't want to sit back and relax while someone else takes care of it. You want to be one of the change makers in this. So if these signs resonate with you, it's highly likely that you're a Pleiadian starseed. There are millions of Pleiadian starseeds on Earth right now. It is the biggest starseed type. The next starseed type is Arcturian starseeds, a very common starseed on Earth right now. Arcturians are said to originate from a blue planet that orbits around the star of Arcturus. Arcturians are very technological advanced. So many Arcturian starseed have a big passion for technology, and they believe advancements in technology are highly important for the human race to thrive. They are usually also highly mathematical. They're usually into maths as well and solving puzzles. Maybe you've had a Rubik's Cube that you like to solve, for example. And they might seem a bit guarded and cold to other people. They actually have big compassion for the other people. Their primary chakra is their throat chakra, which makes them very good at communicating and make them good counselors. They tend to be drawn to audio. So maybe you have a podcast, or you love listening to podcasts, or music. Sound healing might be something you enjoy and use frequently. They're also drawn to crystals and sacred geometry. Next up is the Lyran starseeds. Lyrans come from the Lyran constellation. Unfortunately, their planet was destroyed in a battle between them and the reptilians and moved to other planets such as Andromeda and the Pleiades. If you are a Lyran starseed, chances are the universe has sent you pictures of birds or cats. This is to remind you of your starseed origin. Lyrans are mainly bird people, lion people, and they can also be humanoid as well. So if you have an affinity for cats, lions, or birds, then that is a sign that you are a Lyran starseed. So think about it. Do you have a cat? Do you have a tattoo of a bird? Or have you always wished you were a bird? Is birds your favorite animals? That could be a clear sign. It might even show up in your appearance. For example, having a pointed nose, or bird-like features, or like cat eyes going upwards. And just like cats, Lyran starseeds tend to sleep for longer and have higher sleep requirements than other starseeds and earthlings. Another big sign that you're a Lyran starseed is that you are a natural leader and you love leading people. Just like Pleiadian starseeds, you make an excellent leader, but contrary to the Pleiadians, who tend to shy away from the spotlights due to self-worth issues, you actually love it. You thrive in the spotlight. You are assertive and you feel comfortable giving orders. Another big sign is that you embrace your masculine energy. You are a doing person. You are bold in your clothing choices. You speak your truth. And this masculine energy means that you can easily excel at work, but it also means you're more prone to burning out. So watch out for that. One drawback of being a Lyran starseed is that yes, you're really good at starting new projects. You have that masculine energy, but you're bad at completing them. So before you have completed your projects, you're on to the next fun thing. So those are the most common starseed races on Earth right now. Let me know in the comments which one resonated with you the most. So the next step now is knowing, how do you know for sure that you are this specific starseed race? The easiest and cheapest way to do this is to get a starseed origin birth chart reading done. And the surprising thing is that the best ones you can actually find on Etsy. I think I went with a seller called Starseed United, and basically they can look at your birth chart and see where you've had your incarnations. So where you've had the most incarnations is where your soul origin is. Now, if you are in the same situation as me, which is that I had equal amount of incarnations in Andromeda, my soul origin, and in Orion, then what I do is you want to go back to this video and look through the signs again and see which one resonates the most with you of those two. And for me, that was definitely Andromeda. even though I knew, I really felt like, okay, it's definitely Andromeda, all these signs are me, I wanted to make sure. So what I did, and what you can do too, is to contact a starseed activator or healer, and they can tell you themselves where you are from. So I used Betty Kotevsky. She has a great YouTube channel, Twin the Light Tarot as well. A session with a starseed activator might be around $100 to $200. So it's a bit more expensive than a starseed birth chart origin reading, which could be just around $10 to $50. But then you will know for sure. And it's also a great way to release blocks, because what they do is they work with archangels and your starseed, your family, your galactic family, and they release blocks that you have that are stopping you and slowing you down a bit on your ascension journey. And releasing these blocks also helps open up your channeling abilities so that you can communicate with your galactic family more clearly. So I think definitely it is worth it. If you are on a budget and want a free option for opening up your channeling abilities and speeding up ascension, is the YouTube channel Ophenia and Sikal, and they make videos specifically for starseeds, and they have meditations similar to the starseed activation sessions that you would have with a healer one-on-one, where they bring in the archangels, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, and they heal your body, they unlock blockages in your chakras, and really move you forward on your ascension journey. So now that you know which starseed you are, what now? Well, it's time to step into your starseed mission. Yes, there is a specific reason why you are here. You are here on a mission. You're here as a galactic volunteer, not just to learn lessons about your soul like everyone else, evolve, but you're actually here to help lots of people. And for many of us, this is our last lifetime on Earth. We are finishing up our soul contract, so it's very exciting times, and we want to be able to finish it up, right? So we don't have to do this again, and we can just go wherever we want in the galaxies, in the universe. The first step is to identify that starseed mission. And how do we do that? Well, I would say one of the most powerful things you can do is go back in time and think about when you were a kid. What did you enjoy doing? For me, that was writing. I wrote a book when I was 10 years old. I didn't publish it or anything, but I just loved writing this book. And I also loved recording videos for school assignments. I would always do it as a video project with like funny sketches. So now it's so funny that I have a big blog and I have a YouTube channel, and I feel like I'm a kid again. It doesn't feel like work. And I want you to feel that too. So go back and think about what you enjoyed doing when you were a kid. Look at your strengths and weaknesses. For example, are you a good listener? Are you good at maths? Are you good at science? I know this can be quite difficult to kind of assess yourself and think, well, I don't have any strengths, or like, I don't know what my weaknesses are. And if that's you, then I highly recommend that you do a numerology reading. All you need to do is put in your name and your date of birth, and you will get a personalized video report that tells you your strengths and weaknesses. It's really mind-blowing stuff. I leave a link down below, totally free. And if you wait until the end and you get the full report, it's like, I think it's called like the numerology deluxe report. I think it's just like $30, something crazy cheap. Then not only do you get to know your weaknesses and your strengths, but also challenges that will come up later in life and lessons that you will have to learn. And if you already know that, then you can speed through that much faster and really, supercharge into your mission without as much struggle as you would have needed otherwise. I found this reading I think 5 years ago, and I was feeling so lost and confused at that time. It was before I knew I was a starseed, and I was just, why am I here? Why is this life such a struggle? And why is there so much misery? And when I did this reading, I got goosebumps all over my body. It's like over 100 pages, this report. And it just says everything about you, your strengths, weaknesses, challenges, your personality, like broken up with different sections of your life. Yeah, it's a great way to really get to know yourself and your life and get some direction if you're feeling lost and confused. But regardless if you want to get the report or not, definitely do the video, the personalized video reading, because that is instant and it is completely free. Now, once you've found out your starseed mission, the tricky thing that I've seen in a lot of people is that most people don't have a balance between meditation, reading the affirmations, manifesting, trusting the universe, surrendering, listening to the signs, and taking inspired action towards your goals, right? Working hard, learning marketing skills, learning whatever skills you need for that profession, for that career. I feel like many spiritual people, they only do the, waiting around, waiting for the manifestations to come to them, hoping that the universe will guide them to wherever they will go, but they're not doing much themselves. So they're not actually taking time to learn. For example, if you want to start a podcast, learn actual podcasting skills, go on Udemy, get a course that you can find for like $10 on how to start a podcast channel and like the technology you need and the best practices. You need to have both. You need to have a balance of both. Have your affirmations, do your meditation. It's super important so you get the guidance, but also take inspired action, right? And there are also people on the other side that don't take those minutes per day to meditate because it's hard. It's hard to be alone with your thoughts. I think there's been a science experiment where people got asked, do you want an electric shock or do you want to be alone with your thoughts? And most girls I think said they don't want to be alone with their thoughts, so they picked the shock, which is crazy. And many people, when they get the science, sometimes it's like right in their face, they still can't see it. They just want to go with what's comfortable. They say, well, I have a PhD in this, I've done this my whole life, should I now pivot? I'm 50, I don't have time for this. Yes, you do. You are super powerful and you can change careers, and these are just papers. Don't be afraid to pivot and do something completely different if you feel like what you're doing right now is not your mission. All right, it's now time to answer your questions, the FAQ section. So the first question is there any physical signs that I'm a starseed? Now, this is a very good question. As you might know, Pleiadians usually have like long blonde hair and they're white and they're really tall and slender. Does that mean that you have to look like that to be a Pleiadian? And the answer is no. So that does not determine if you will incarnate with that body. You could be black, you could have red hair, ginger hair, like it has nothing to do with that. Sometimes that is the case, but definitely doesn't have to be like that. Now, the things that I have noticed is that many starseeds have a different body temperature than most people. So either that they are a bit colder than most, like for me for example, I always have cold hands, even if it's summer and really hot outside. I freeze very easily. Well, other people, for example, my twin flame Steph, he's the opposite, so he's very hot, even in winter, and he can walk around with just shorts and a t-shirt in winter. Another physical sign is that starseeds usually have more diseases, disorders than other people. But like I said before, anything can be healed. And usually having a disease can trigger a spiritual awakening. That happened for me when I found out I had PCOS. And I know many of my starseed friends who've gone through similar things. So there's always something good in it. Like my favorite author, Neil Donald Walsh, said in his book, In Conversations with Gods, I sent you nothing but angels, which is so true. Next question, what is a starseed soul family? So you are never alone as a starseed. And I know that it can be very, very lonely to be a starseed. It would make no sense if all starseeds were born in the same country. They are all spread out. So you might feel very lonely. You're probably the only starseed in your family. You might feel like the black sheep. But you have incarnated here with other starseeds who you've known in many lifetimes. and who are here to support you and help you grow on your journey. So many of you come in with a twin flame, so the other part of your soul. I did, my twin flame, I met him 2 years ago. We live together now, we help support each other, and we realized we're not crazy. And being with each other makes us remember that we are not crazy. We're not the only people like this. You might meet them when traveling, to school, at work, at different stages of your life. You have soul contracts with these people, so they will come into your life whether you want it or not. You have soul contracts with these souls, and they will come into your life. There's something you can do about that, and that is so beautiful, I think. And you know which people it is in your life that you feel you have a special connection to, and you feel like you've known them for several lifetimes. Other signs that this is your starseed family is that you feel like you can have complete trust in them. Tell them anything and they would keep the secrets. They would they wouldn't judge you. You feel like you can have spiritual conversations and they won't think you're batshit crazy. And you feel like these people are here to help you on a mission. So not just a friend to drink beers with, but also a friend that will help you get closer to achieving your mission. And like I said before, there's this veil of forgetfulness that we go through when we come to a 3D planet, and that is why you don't remember it. You might sense it, that these people are important, but you don't remember it. Next question is, how can I fulfill my purpose as a starseed? It's very important that you follow your intuition here and the signs and the guidances. I find one of the best ways for me to follow my intuition when I feel a bit lost and I'm stuck between two choices of two life paths I want to go, decisions, is a pendulum. So I have an amethyst pendulum. I prefer amethyst since it's connected to the third eye chakra. So when I have questions, I can just ask the pendulum. I have a whole video about how to use a pendulum. And just ask yourself, if you had all the money in the world, what would you be doing? First, you might have just, want to relax on a beach, but then eventually you'll want to do something. You have that drive in you because it's programmed, you're here for a mission and your soul knows it. And then definitely do the free numerology reading link below. One way to make sure that you're spending each day the way you're supposed to and you're really following where the universe wants to take you is to start the day with a prayer. I have a prayer that I read out to myself every morning. It's from the book Light is the New Black, and it goes like this. Today I surrender my goals and plans to the core of the universe. I offer up my agenda and accept spiritual guidance. I trust that there is a plan far greater than mine. I know that where there was once lack and limitation, there are spiritual solutions and creative ideas. I step back and let love lead the way. Thy will be done. I hope this brought some clarity. If you have any more starseed questions, let me know in the comments. Yeah, have a beautiful day. Bye.